How's it going, everybody? Chris Card's back through the mail. Monday, 7 returns for you today. Our very first one coming to us from Santa Barbara, California. Wasn't that an old soap opera, Santa Barbara? Here we go, guys. Hope everyone out there had a great weekend as we near the end of January, just a few days away from February. And we've got Mr. Casey Candaele. Casey played 9 years in the Bigs. Most of those years spent with the Astros, spent some time with the Expos and the Indians as well. Upper Deck, Donruss, and Fleer and Leaf. Many card manufacturers being represented in this first return. No tops, that's interesting. His brother Kelly was a filmmaker, in fact, made the PBS documentary about the All-American Girls Pro Baseball League, which of course later was the inspiration for the 1992 film A League of Their Own. Of course, Casey's mother, Helen Callahan at the time, played in the league for 5 years, one of their best hitters during that period of time. Her career pretty much ended when she went off and got married and had 5 sons, and of course one of those being Casey Candaele, who is now in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. I do believe he was the AAA manager for their affiliate last year, and of course a bench coach in 2022 for the big league team. So still in baseball, Casey Candaele, great signer. Let's move on to return number 2. Tampa St. Petersburg on this envelope, stamped beautifully there by the USPS. And we have index cards. A couple of index cards sandwiched in between those. We've got Mr. Garth Orge on an 87 Fleer glossy. That is a glossy set they had in 87, much like, of course, the Tiffany cards Topps put out. There's an 84 O-Peachy, and we've got an 87 O-Peachy as well. Very nice, signed by Garth Orge. Great signer, 9-year career as a third baseman / second baseman. Another utility infielder who had a 9-year career, much like Casey Candaele. Spent his entire career with the Blue Jays, 9 total years with the Blue Jays. And went on to coach in the Brewers organization for a while. Of course, he was their first base coach for some time in the early 2010s. Garth Orge, brother of Dane Orge, both great signers. There's his information. Awesome return from Garth. Glad to get some of these oddball cards I had signed, as you know, the OPG cards as well as the glossy Fleer. They came out looking great, as I knew they would. Awesome return from Garth. Let's move on to return number 3. Phoenix, Arizona on our next envelope right here with the reindeer stamp, as we put the holidays in our rear view. And we've got a ripped index card, which I just ripped, but thankfully it was not signed. And we've got Mr. Jim Schellenbach here on a 69 Rookie Stars card. Mr. Jimenez does not sign, so I will not be able to get this completed unless he has some sort of rare private signing. Jim played 9 years in the Bigs as a pitcher. Played sparingly in those 9 years. Didn't quite have full years with teams, but collected 9 years nonetheless, mostly with the Texas Rangers / Senators, as well as the Pittsburgh Pirates. Portland Beavers there. There you guys see on a manager card. I have a lot of love for these manager cards from the minors, especially when they are in my own backyard here in Portland. So very nice card signed. Very nice there. He's got a long signature, as I'm noticing here. Jim managed a long time in the minors. In fact, he finished off his career as a pitching coach of the Elizabethtown Twins of the Appalachian League, and he retired from them after 18 years in 2011. So loved getting these coaches cards, these oddball coaches cards signed. I sent everyone I had, and I think I had extras of all of them. I think I had him keep the extras. I do believe I sent him doubles of every of the pro cards card I had. So awesome return from Jim. Cleveland, Ohio for our next return here, as I try not to tear any cards or index cards, and that worked out well. We've got Mr. Ron Schuler. Ron Schuler here on a 75 Topps card, signed very nicely. Ron Schuler, an 8-year big league career as a pitcher for the Phillies, the Braves, the White Sox, and the Twins. Would later on, of course, go on to have a pretty prominent front office role, as well as being the White Sox general manager for 10 years in the early 90s all the way to 2000, I do believe. Of course, had acquired many veterans, including Bo Jackson, Tim Raines, and all those guys back in the day. Had some really good White Sox teams. So Ron Schuler, of course, also worked in the front office for the Cubs and the Giants. He was one of those special assistants that he was kind of the first special assistant to the GM way back in the day. And Ron Schuler had a really long baseball career after he retired in 1979. In fact, he went straight from pitching to coaching the team he was playing for, the 1979 White Sox. Great return from him. Let's move on to return number 4. North Texas, our next return here. And I've got sort of a thick envelope here. Let's see, I got to cover this up. And There you guys go. My wife's like, why don't you use tape? But it's just a waste. It's just a waste of tape. I can just use my hand. It's just as easy. And I got to find out how to open this after... There we go. This is coming pretty easily here. This whole thing is filled with something, so I don't want to just tear into it. I've already ripped one index card today, and we've got grip cards in here. Somebody. Glad to get this taken care of. A couple of protective index cards, and we've got legendary TTMer Danny Darwin. Danny Darwin signed a 91 Topps card. In fact, I sent him extras. See, now Jim kept his extras. Danny signed his extras and sent them back. So now I got 2 of everything. We've got the Noah's Ark of TTM returns here. 21-year career for Mr. Danny Darwin. 8 of those with Texas, and of course, 8 different teams in those 21 years. His best year in 1990, where he went 11-4 and led the league with a 2.21 ERA. Went on to become a coach in the Reds organization. During a brawl between the Phillies and the Giants, when Orel Hershiser and Danny Darwin were both on the Giants, Hershiser claimed Darwin punched him in the face, and the 2 were teammates, of course. Hershiser claimed it was retribution for Hershiser hitting Darwin back when he was pitching against him. So Darwin's my kind of guy, my kind of baseball guy right here, Danny Darwin, and a great signer, and he doesn't collect cards, so more for us, I guess. Awesome return from Danny Darwin. Let's move on to our next return. Our next return is from the vault. I got this back in 2021. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, where they're trying to build the country's largest skyscraper, and somehow there's a $2 bill in here that I ripped. I'm not doing good with opening these envelopes today, but in my defense, this $2 bill is very, very thin. I did not know it was there. The index cards I can kind of feel. Oh boy, another one. From the vault, and another guy that has passed away last year. Due to all my items setting up on eBay, cards will be $20 each. Cash or check made out to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. This is from... No index cards. This is from Bobby Morgan. Bobby Morgan, who passed away in 2023, June of 2023. I don't quite understand a $2 bill, guys. Sorry for the break in the action. Trying to decipher that. 55 Topps signed, as well as a 52 Topps card signed and inscribed to Chris from Mr. Bobby Morgan. An awesome, great signer. Only 6 Brooklyn Dodgers left now, including Sandy Koufax, who was charging like $1,200 for his autograph in his next private signing, which is insane, but, you know, you do you, Sandy. Very nice return from Bobby Morgan. Of course, you can no longer get him. He's no longer around, unfortunately. Almost made it to 97 years old. Give him credit for that. Played for 8 years, from 50 to 58, as well as the Brooklyn Dodgers. He played for the Phillies, Cubs, and St. Louis Cardinals. Awesome return from Bobby Morgan. Let's move on to our final return of the day. Our final return is once again from Phoenix, Arizona, as I rip into this envelope, and hopefully nothing else, and it looks like I succeeded this time. Very nice. We've got Mr. J. Bell. J. Bell signed the 89 Upper Deck card I sent him, as well as the 91 Upper Deck card. He was a former first-round draft pick way back in 1984, the Minnesota Twins. 8th overall pick. Spent most of his 18-year career with the Pirates, of course. Won a World Series ring with the 2001 Arizona Diamondbacks, and also had a Gold Glove to boot. So great return from him. Great little career by Mr. J. Bell. Of course, went on to manage and coach. He signed on to coach the Rocket City Trash Pandas way back in 2020. And he left after the 2021 season. I assume he is still retired from coaching or managing. He's not that old. I think he's 58 years old. So he's got some more years left in him if he still wants to coach. And there you guys go. Jay Bell, great signer. Love getting these 90s cards signed because they're so varied and there's so many different ones to send off. And thankfully, he signed all 6 for me. Greedy Chris Cards, asked for 6, got 6. Very happy, very appreciative. Thank you, Jay Bell. And that is it, my friends. This is this week's haul, most of it anyway, that I could fit on the screen. Hope everyone liked this week's Through the Mail Monday. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of this week's returns. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And that is it, my friends. That's all I got. See ya.